Hey, I'm Dave. Welcome to CapZeyeZ, all Texas music.
We've been doing this for 30 years, bringing you nothing but Texas music. We hope you dig it, because we love making it.
CapZeyeZ, all Texas music.
Hey everyone, welcome to CapZeyeZ. My name is Dana Lee Cooper, and if you're thinking to yourself, that woman, she looks a little familiar, well, you would be right. So I actually hosted CapZeyeZ on and off from around, let's say 93-ish to 92, 93 to 97-ish, off and on. And I am proud to be back here today where we're gonna actually, I don't wanna say recreate, but do something that we did 31 years ago. I got to interview this lovely woman sitting next to me. I'm going to introduce her. She is an awesome musician coming all this way from LA, but now also adding author to everything that she does. This is her new book, Somewhere in the Music, I'll Find Me. This is Laurie Markvart. Laurie, thank you so much. 31 plus years to the day.
It is nuts, to the day. November 26, 1994. Can we do 92? Oh, see, I'm a writer, not a mathematician.
It's math, dude.
It's just math, yeah. I leave the math to her. But you did. You interviewed me when I was in a band at the time. The band was called Wicked Gypsy, and we were freaking phenomenal. There's my word we all realize today is phenomenal. Hard rock metal band, and you interviewed me in the bathroom of the back room. Yes. The back room bar.
This smells much better.
This is a nicer, pleasant experience for us women who have now matured slightly, but we still have the same energy.
I know, right? I feel like it's back then. Like I feel like the 31 years has not gone by since we've done that. And we're actually going to talk about later on. We're going to talk about something that we did talk about then, so we need to revisit a topic. But before that, I want to ask you, so what made you decide to write your memoir?
I'm going to give like a two-prong kind of answer. First, I was going through auditions in Los Angeles for everything from like X Factor to America's Got Talent, all of those kind of shows, looking to revive my music career. And I thought that would be like a catapulting way to do it quickly. And it actually was painful. The shows are painful to try to do. And I came out of one of those auditions really frustrated. I didn't even get past round one, and I felt like they were just all about, a singer showing up with a story, not a singer showing up with a voice. Well, there's that other show called The Voice too, but I was frustrated and I wanted to write a book about the experience. And then that morphed into me writing about my whole music experience from my childhood all the way up into that show, X Factor, in 2011. But when it got to that's what got me going. But then as I got going, my mother and her mental illness and my own mental illness of an anxiety disorder started to really creep into the writing. And I realized that this wasn't just a book about a music career or me chasing music, but at the heart it was mental illness, family dealing with mental illness, the stigma of mental illness, how mental illness impacts creatives. Well, it impacts everybody, but from a creative standpoint, it impacted me deeply. But then also, my mother's severe mental illness, she was bipolar, and she had a severe anxiety disorder. She actually unknowingly got me into music. I found music to be my place of peace and comfort and a way to escape the madness of my home. So the book started with me being pissed off about not getting an audition to 10 years of on and off writing, and then really in the past 4 years, putting it in a high gear and finishing it. And so there's my two-part answer. Yeah. Austin, Texas rocks. Thank you, you guys. I am Laurie Markvart, and this is my song, Give Me All. Always close to nothing, tomorrow. I will not be so stuck. Trivial little happiness at my fingertips. Give me a little heaven, and I'll give you some in return. Give me all the strength I need. There's nowhere else to turn. It's true what I find in you, the answer to my test. You help me down this solitary road. With you, I'm at my best. Ooh, lost among reality as my mind sleeps. Give me a little heaven, and I'll give you some in return. Give me all the strength I need. There's nowhere else to turn. Give me a little heaven, and I'll give you some in return. Give me all the strength I need. There's nowhere else to turn. Nowhere else to turn. Nowhere else to turn.
Well, not only is it available pretty much anywhere that you can
Yes.
buy, but also recently, congratulations, I think November 21st, Audible came out.
Yes, I decided to do the Audible. The book came out, the print copy came out in July of 2022, but I was going through breast cancer at the time, and I got the book out, but realized I couldn't do an Audible because of the energy it takes to act out and narrate. So I put it off, and I had no real choice, and decided to, just in this last couple of months, do the narration, do the Audible. And yes, it just came out November 21st. And I'm really, I'm proud of the book, but I'm super proud of the Audible because it's me narrating, it's in my voice, which I think most who like memoir or read autobiographical like to hear the author's voice. And I was like, well, I am a singer and an actor, so I might as well voice it. And I had a heck of a good time doing it.
How different is it when you go to record vocals versus going to record just your speaking voice?
It was far more different than I anticipated, because I went in there like, I've been in many studios as a musician. But it was very different in the sake that a microphone for recording narration is so hot, and the environment around has to be, a sound booth is one thing and to keep it quiet, but that mic is so hot that the engineer could hear my stomach growl. He could hear every move I made. So I would go in to do the narration with no jewelry, and I would stand in place and try to do everything I could to not move, which is hard when you're narrating a story. But it also came with narrating. An Audible takes a long time. I'm pretty sure it took me, because the Audible clocks in at a total running time of 10 hours and 22 minutes, but it took me 22 hours to literally record it. And the brilliant engineer, whose name is Garrett Lang, and he is with a studio in LA called Knob World, took him probably 3 times that to engineer, or to edit it down. That's just what it takes to edit. Wow. So it was quite the process. But the Audible also has music, my music in there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
in places. So it's a production. No, audibles are productions.
So let's get into some of the meat and potatoes, if you will.
The meat and potatoes. I like it.
Of the book.
And the CapZeyeZ audience that is out there. Again, I'm Laurie Markvart, and I used to be an Austinite. I'd love to be an Austinite again, but I am in from Los Angeles, and I think people would, kill me because it's like one more LA person. But since I used to live here, I feel like I could come back. Should I come back? Austin is beautiful. I think Austin is still slightly weird. It's still got a weirdness to it. So I was here from in the 90s, early 2000s. I was playing the music scene here, and then I went to LA and did music there, amongst some other things that I ended up writing a book about, which is called Somewhere in the Music I'll Find Me, and it's a memoir, and it looks like this. And it is available on Amazon, and Audible just came out. The Audible is on Amazon and also on Apple Books. There we go. Now I get you in shot. A coming of age story. A lot of my music that I'm going to sing here tonight is connected to pieces of this book, and a lot of it is Austin, because a lot happened for me in those years in Austin in my 20s. When you're pretty confused. You're also very ambitious, especially as a musician and a creative, and trying to do everything and anything you can to validate your desires to make it and or just be heard and seen, but that sometimes comes at a cost. And for me, it was a cost. And for a lot of my friends, costs too, which we will talk about later in an interview. So this is a song I wrote back when I was here in Texas, and you can find this online. Had some beautiful, amazing musicians on it, and the sake of their talents were just blew my mind. J.J. Johnson on drums, and Ephraim Owens that came and played trumpet, and it just took this song to a whole other level that I didn't anticipate as a writer, and I think that's a fun thing as a musician, or as a songwriter, I should say, where you bring a song into a band and you play the most simple chords to them, and then a drummer can take the song to a different level with his energy and his vibe, or her energy and vibe, right? And then you layer on all the different instruments, and the next thing you know, you have this sound, but deep down at the core is a song, and the song is made up, obviously, of a melody and lyrics, and those lyrics are so important to the songwriter, and yet, once that song goes out into the world, everyone takes ownership of it in their own way. We all do it. I do it with my favorite artists and musicians and songwriters. I take their songs and I put my own meaning on it, which is the beauty of music, in that we can share it out as creators, but then people can take it in. So this song is called Faith. I wrote it at a time when I needed to find something in my life, not a spiritual faith, but just a faith in the everyday things around me, to help remind me that I'm gonna be okay, life is okay, and that as long as we keep our purpose, we will be okay. There we go again. So this is called Faith. A stranger's smile, a street lamp on a dark night. I find it in the sunrise and every day, and the moon I make a wish on. Find it every time I breathe, when I look at you. It is where I call home, and whose arms I feel the safest air, the safest air. 'Cause faith is all I need to forget the impossible in this life. I'm happy for no reason. It is where I call home and whose arms I feel the safest in. The safest in. 'Cause faith is all I need to forget the impossible in this life. 'Cause faith is all I need to be true to myself in this life. Well, I've got to believe in something that'll get me through this. Some glorious forgiving fate that's unexpectedly true. 'Cause faith is all I need to be true to myself in this life. 'Cause faith is all I need to be true to myself in this life. La, 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 la. Ooh, da, 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 ba, 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 da, da. There we go. Faith.
And you were talking about your mental health, struggles, and that was one of the reasons for you writing the memoir in the first place. There's a couple things that struck me, and I wrote them down. I was struck by a couple lines. One was you were talking about that you were walking through life looking for the landmines. And then also I think your mom was saying that she noticed that the only time you were happy was when you were on stage. And you said that it's an instant of being fully alive too, mentally and emotionally high, to be touched by heartache and loneliness. So why was it important to write about your mental health struggles as it pertained to your music? And what are the conversations we should be having around being a musician and mental health?
Well, the first part of it, when I wrote about going through life looking for emotional landmines, was that my anxiety was so severe at times. When I went through some major losses that I write about, that I felt like I didn't know when my anxiety was going to peak and hit me hard. I had no clue, and it would just come in rushes. And my mom saying to me about being on stage, it was true. And I think, and you could support, and you're not, as a creator and as a musician as well, when I was on stage, and to this day when I'm on stage, I do forget everything because I'm focused in on what I'm doing, and it brings me such joy. Maybe other people can relate to that in a hobby that they may have, or there's the runner's high. There's all kinds of highs that we can get in life. But the other critical part of that, as my mom said, you're only happy when you're on stage, and that's not long enough. You're not on stage all the time. So how are you going to figure out another way to deal with your anxiety, to deal with depression? And coming from her, that was interesting because she had severe depression. She was bipolar. She had a severe anxiety disorder, but she knew what she was talking about. She's like, how are you going to figure this out? But when it comes to creatives and musicians, I think we hide how we really feel. We put it into our book or our song or our art, whatever our art is, we put it there. And yet we don't really want to share our true self off the stage. So I feel like when it comes to musicians especially, there's a part of musicians, we like to see artists be wild and crazy and just freaking out of their mind on stage. And we almost expect that when they come off stage, and it's kind of hard to accept when they're not like that.
Yes.
And I used to crash really hard in the heavy metal band that I was in here in Austin. You know, when you're in your 20s, you can kind of go crazy on stage, and I would be everywhere and flopping on the floor
ground,
and on the ground and just doing crazy stuff. And then when I'd come off stage, I would have a major drop in adrenaline and blood sugar.
Same.
And you too?
Absolutely.
And depression would kick in for me, and I would end up having to go home, usually, or go somewhere quiet and kind of pull myself together. And I was like, but I'm never going to stop being that crazy on stage.
Right.
So there's this kind of dichotomy, like, and it was just me. I don't know if others felt like that, but for musicians, I think we feel the responsibility to be as out as possible, but we're not always like that. So. And some musicians suffer because when they're not on stage and they're not creating, they don't know what to do with that energy. And I had to find ways to survive, to deal with that energy, and through meditation and through talking with a therapist and through sometimes with medication and sometimes through writing a book and thinking, you know what, I can't be the only one feeling like this. And so I wanted to share it for that. I'm gonna do a good old breakup song. It's original. It's called How. Sorry, I'm gonna laugh. I mean, I'm singing serious, like dreary love songs, and I'm still laughing because we gotta laugh a bit at heartbreak and love, right? So we can laugh at the heartbreaks, then we can welcome in the good stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm wrong. How do I fix broken glass with shards that are gone? And how do I relapse into a love that has been drunk dry? When a sigh became a lie. How is it here we became this, broken too, no longer fit? How many times did we try to make it right? Well, not enough. Turn to regret and trust to lust for another to get. And how the hell does intention become a memory? well, not enough. Not enough. 'Cause we're still here. We're still here. Thank you.
No, that's wonderful. You also shared a lot about being your, I would have to say it's being your authentic self. That seems so, buzzwordy, being your authentic self. But I mean, you had a lot of outside influence. I mean, your dad, the first thing was like, he wanted you to have a good life. And wait, I wrote down what he said because I had this too. I mean, and find a good man and plan for a lovely future.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, because I was supposed to, yeah. We'll have to talk later. Oh yes, and then you got the other end where occasionally your mom would very much push the idea of you're going to be a big star. This is what you're going to do. So, yeah. I mean, that's you have these conflicting things, and what else? Why did you feel that was so important to bring into the book as well? Because I mean, look at the title, all right? I mean, somewhere in the music,
I'll find me.
I'll find me.
Well, because so at the time frame you and I were both growing up. I mean, and so this is going back to where different generations. My dad was 44 when he had me, so he came from a generation that was women that felt women were in a certain place. They needed to play a certain role, and what he saw from me was, oh, great, you're a musician and you're talented at music, but you need to find a man. That's how he felt I would be successful, is based on the man I would be with. Where my mom kind of felt that too. But she also was like, oh, but go pursue music and be a star, because she lived through that. She really enjoyed that. And she, in her lineage of the family, we were musicians. So her father was my grandfather, a very well-known singer. And she always said, it missed me. It got him and it got you, so do something with it. So there was that conflict where she was like, go out and be a famous musician so I can live through you. And then my dad was like, no, go find a good man and settle down. So I put that in here because it was a conflict all the time. I was constantly trying to please my dad, which he was not really into any of the music I did at all. I don't think he ever really got into what I was doing. He would kind of support it, but
he did come out and wear your band's t-shirt.
He did. He did.
So I mean, let's give him the kudos there.
Yeah. he only wanted the best for me. What any parent wants, and that was his generational thinking. Was like, but I had this thirst to be like to prove him wrong. Like, no, I can do this without a man. And that was when multiple chapters in here I was trying to show the pursuit of it. But then I was also trying to please my mother, because she was so mentally ill, and some of the things she said to me when I was young, like, you're gonna be famous like Elton John. When you're like 5, or you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna practice even harder. Yeah, she impressed a lot onto me. It still has me to this day, where I'm like, why didn't that happen, Mom? But both of those went into the book because I feel we all are conditioned by our parents and their beliefs, and we either push against those or we embrace them. And so they were at the core of this. But again, as I was writing it, both my parents came up more than I thought they would, because they're just they were, and both are gone now. My mom knew I was writing this book before she passed, though, so that's good. And one of the last things she said to me was, finish that damn book. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you did.
I did, Mom. A little cover of Lady Gaga's song from Stars Born. Always remember us this way. That Arizona sky burning in your eyes. You look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul like California gold. You found a light in me that I couldn't find. When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Love is in the night, poets try to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn we try. And all I really know, you're where I wanna go. A part of you and me will never die. When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. 'Cause I don't wanna be just a memory, yeah. When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. So when you look at me and the whole world fades, I'll always remember us this way. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Gaga. Thank you. Thanks for letting me pull that one out then. Yeah.
Well, so it's kind of funny that you talked about the not being successful without having a man, because here's where we go back to the interview 30 plus years ago. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
A big focus of that interview was what it was like to be a woman in rock and roll at a very sexist, misogynistic time for rock and roll. You actually talk in the book about how, you know, they wanted you to dress sexier, and you and I both experienced this where we weren't allowed to go backstage because they thought we were girlfriends and not in the band. We were both stopped by security on several occasions. Do you feel, so here we are 31 years later, do you feel that progress has been made, and do you think there's still progress to be made?
So, yes. Okay. I mean, I'm just
Yes, and yes. No.
yes. I feel going back to the early 90s, and for
Yes.
anyone who's watching this, who are kids who are watching, who are like,
1992.
they don't know what really was going on back then. Yeah, we were coming out of the 80s. Yeah, women were looked at as very sexual, exploited in a sexual way. And that did happen where there was a bar here in Austin where the booking guy told me how to dress. He was like, I think I say in the book, he said, men come in here to hear the guys, but they come in to see you. I was like, that's fucked up. I mean, I'm up there singing. He never went to the guys in the band and told them how to dress. So has that changed? Yeah, that's changed a lot, because now we know with so many things that are hashtagged, that just can't be done. And I'm happy for that. Maybe you and I had whatever part we've had in showing that women can be on stage. It has nothing to do with our sexuality, but if we want to make it sexy, we shouldn't be faulted for that. No. And it shouldn't be just about that. I think music has changed dramatically in accessibility, not just for women as singers, but musicians. Now we see bands everywhere and anywhere with women, not only as primary songwriters, but leaders of the band, full bands, women.
Yeah.
And young women, and I'm so excited by the passion that they have, and it's not just certain genres, right?
No, it's every genre.
They can do everything.
Yeah.
And
it's nice to see.
but at the time, for you, me, and other women, it was complicated, and it was hard, and it was frustrating. It made me pissed off enough to keep doing it that much more.
Absolutely.
especially metal music.
Yeah.
Because there was tons, and they say it here, there was dudes that would call when I was going out on auditions, and they were like, "Oh, you're a chick? Well, I want a chick." And I was like, "Next, okay." I'm willing to find the band that wanted a chick, and I found them, and turned out to be an amazing band.
Absolutely.
This is yet another love song. This is that unrequited kind, which we've all had in our life. You know, you crush on somebody else, or you really think you got a shot, and they just don't see you. It sucks. But we just get through it, or you write songs about it. This is called Time Again, and this song can be found online. Time and time again, you gave good reason. And time again, I wasn't sure. In so many ways, I understand you. In so many ways, I can't be sure. Lonely and worried of what's to come of me, but not as worried for you. You breathe life into so many parts, I swear you'll never undo. Long, long time, I didn't know what to do. I cried my heart dry, waiting for you. Yeah, for you. For you. You're pretty and I'm drawn to you everywhere. You send me over the edge of love and life and so many things that now will go unsaid. For you to see more in me and the potential we could be. Oh, my world fades heavy in front of you. Now I'm empty with no more to do. Long, long time, I didn't know what to do. I cried my heart dry, waiting long, long time. I didn't know what to do. I cried my heart dry for you. Oh, for you. Oh, for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we'll wrap it up with this. And so on my podcast, which is Mission My Life podcast, I did an episode about the one question to ask yourself if you're trying to figure out who you are. And it was, what are you chasing? Before you did Faith, you were talking to us in here about, you know, what is your finish line? And I love that. Laurie Markvart, tell us, what is your finish line? More music, more books? What's your finish line?
I was like, gosh, don't ask me about a generalized finish line. I'm not a Buddhist.
This is your life.
I think our finish line should be open in an extent, like not to be so hard that we can't deviate a little bit. But I really believe in what you and I spoke about too, that finish lines are important, because if you have a destination, I think I ripped this off from seeing John Mayer talk about this. I'm just gonna throw him in there. I don't know why. I don't know John Mayer.
It's good. Just do it.
I don't know him. Like to know. No. I'm pretty sure he said, like, if you have your finish line and you have something to work to, you remain productive, you remain positive, you remain excited about life, and you want to finish. So for me, it's to keep spreading the word on mental health. That is such a core component of this book. Break down the stigma and to stop don't have it stop at a hashtag, Mental Health Awareness Month, or depression or anxiety. There is severe mental illness out there that the society still will not acknowledge and or have the compassion for it. And beyond acknowledgement is acceptance. There are people who are really suffering, and my mom suffered so badly, and that's why I wanted to write this. Will there be another book for a memoir or on a mental health, mental illness? No, that was hard. It was hard to write this. But I have more music coming, another book I'm working on that's fictional, because I want to write stuff that's a bit more fun now, you know? but that, for quite a while, I'm doing other podcasts and going to Kansas City in February to be on a panel talking about, it's AWP conference for writers, talking about how to write a hard book, because I want to, if I can encourage others to write their story as well, no matter how hard it is. And I swear to God, I'm going to wrap this up, but one of the things one of my editors said to me is when there's a part of the book I did not want to write because it was so hard, he was like, the hard stuff that you don't want to write is what the reader wants to read. And I was like, shit, okay. So I did it, and it turned out to be the turning point in the book. So more books coming for me, more places to spread this word on mental health and the compassion. And I'm so grateful to have done this with you 31 years later.
Let's not let this go another 31 years. We've got so much to talk about.
We do.
Yeah, we'll handle this.
I'm appreciative to CapZeyeZ.
Yes, thank you so much, Dave, for having both of us here today. Everybody give Dave a round of applause. He deserves it, absolutely. Well, Laurie, thank you so much. Once again, the book is called I know this, I don't know why I'm reading, but Somewhere in the Music, I'll Find Me.
Well, because I had to find myself somewhere in the music again, but we have to find ourselves.
And you've done a lovely job.
It's also
it's
right there.
I know. Well, I could have just pointed behind me, but I like reading it.
Yeah.
I like reading it. And Laurie, tell us where they can find you.
Google my name and you can find me. You can find my music, you can find the book, but the Audible is on Audible and also on Apple Books. And Amazon. I mean, if you go to Amazon, you can see my whole appearance schedule and all of that kind of stuff. But and if any, just reach out to me. Not personally. Like, okay, my cell phone is.
Just give it out to everybody. But I'm sure they can find your music. Are you on like Spotify?
Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube. Yeah, if you that sounds like kind of, just Google me. That sounds like a lazy thing to say.
Google me.
But it's kind of true. If you Google me, I think it says it says singer, Laurie Markvart singer, and I'm like, okay.
Right. Have you Googled yourself lately?
I have Googled myself lately. Don't we all? I mean, it's kind of fun.
Everyone should.
You should.
You should Google yourselves.
Especially to
I'm
find
serious,
out
y'all.
if there's anything wrong out there. But
yes, absolutely.
I think we should all Google ourselves.
Well, again, Laurie, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for playing for us. And everybody give Laurie a huge round of applause as we send her back to Los Angeles. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, the U.S. Thank you, Dana. I'm so blessed and grateful to be here in Austin, Texas, on this CapZeyeZ show. I did the Austin music scene back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and I was specifically in a heavy metal band that kicked ass. It was called Wicked Gypsy. And we did a lot of interviews and shows here in this exact studio, which blows my mind. And in all gratefulness to one of the men here behind the camera, Dave Pruitt, who was doing this shit back then and still doing it. And actually, I specifically talk about CapZeyeZ in this book. And because Dave had an influential impact on our band, and I'm gonna say hundreds, if not 1,000 more bands. So thank you for having me here. And thank you for helping me promote this book called Somewhere in the Music I'll Find Me. It's my memoir, and I talk about my time here in Austin. So I'm gonna do now I write love songs. It's pretty much heartbreak, or I'm happy because I'm in love, This is one of those songs where it's like, have you been tempted when, somebody who, kind of broke your heart, or maybe you kind of broke their heart, but they come back around, and you're just like, I'm gonna take you back in. Yeah, and I'm gonna, kind of take you for what I can get. That's where the inspiration for this song came. And it's called Take You In. And don't act like you've never done that or thought it. I want to take all of you in and taste your memories. You lean in, I touch your face. You hold me close, the empty field in haste. Yeah. We quickly know the years of trying to say hello would lead to one long goodbye and another sigh. Leave on rewind a long cry. Well, I'll take the lies, I'll take the pain, I'll take the sorrow, it's just the same. I'll come around again and I'll take you in. Well, I'll take the lies, I'll take the pain, I'll take the sorrow, it's just the same. And I'll take you in. Well, I'll taste your love and I'll take you in. Patience is now a friend. Time is long and it never ends. We return to touch the bruise of a heartless land. It cannot choose, it cannot lose. Well, I'll take the lies, I'll take the pain, I'll take the sorrow, it's just the same. I'll come around again and I'll take you in. Well, I'll take the lies, I'll take the pain, I'll take the sorrow, it's just the same. And I'll take you in. Well, I'll take you in. Well, I'll take you in. Da-da-da. Well, I'll take you in. Let's throw that down. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, thank you.
Ham has helped me on my healthcare journey by making sure that I do not need for anything pertaining to being well. But not just taken care of, but taken care of comfortably. And that's, I don't know of any other town that has that other than Austin, and God bless Ham. I can unequivocally say that Ham has saved my life. Just being scared and not knowing what my next move is going to be, but knowing that I could go see a professional to help me take care of what I needed and answer those questions that I won't remember, that they print out for me that I can take to my wife, you know? So they have saved my life. They have made my life better. It almost messes with your head a little bit because we chose to be musicians. We didn't choose to have a job where you have the 401k and you have medical, you know, but it was a calling. And to have people who believe in the arts and in us so much that we are actually taken care of is nothing short of a miracle. And I do believe that Ham is one of the small miracles in my life because of the fact that I know that I'm not the only one. Food, medical bills, transportation if I need it, just all the things that Ham does. I had to learn how to quit saying we don't deserve it, or that I don't deserve it, because we all deserve it. And I'm just grateful and very fortunate that Ham is in my life. And I thank God for them every day. Hey everybody, my name is Nathan Olivares of the band Stupid Drama, and I am a Ham musician.
I'm Dave, you're watching CapZeyeZ, originating out of Austin Films, Austin Public Facility in East Austin. We do it weekly. It's live music. It's music that you can't see anywhere else. It's all about DIY, 3 decades and moving forward, y'all.
How do we get to see this?
It's pretty simple. If you look for Austin Public on iPhone or Android, anywhere you get your apps, you can find it. It's called Austin Public. If you are in Austin, you can see it on Grande and Spectrum Cable, Channel 10. We are Saturdays at 10 p.m. when you see it live. There is a Patreon where you can see things before you see them anywhere. We will put some up on YouTube. It's on Roku. It's on Apple TV. It's everywhere. We're taking over.
So no reason not to watch CapZeyeZ, because we're bringing you nothing but the best that Austin has to bring.
Hey, it's CapZeyeZ. It's us. We bring you everything you see. It's all local, local crew, local TV, local music.
having health insurance to me is kind of like a second chance at my age. Like I've barely made it with resources I've had through my life, and I've taken what I could afford in health insurance, and the benefits of HAM allowing me to get a better health insurance plan for myself allows me to treat and deal with things that, whether I've had existing things or whether I'm facing things as I get older, to get in the right frame of mind, to get it taken care of and have more years, happier years.
There's times whenever I have gotten sick, and before I had coverage, I used to just like power through it and take all the over-the-counter meds and be sick for a month. And I no longer have to do that. I can go to a doctor when I'm sick and pay like a small copay, $10, $20, instead of like, I don't know, just kind of crossing my fingers and hoping everything's gonna be okay because America. Yeah, don't get me started. Okay.
Probably it's not to not be afraid to ask a lot of questions, because that's what I do for my elderly father, so I should probably do the same for myself.